If you are watching this video, then you're probably in the same position as I was back in 2019. I knew what dropshipping is and how the business would have worked. I spent days and days studying YouTube videos of these people who have made it with dropshipping and always seeing what they're making all of the money with it, showing off when they're traveling, their cars, their Shopify dashboards, thousands of dollars of sales. But whenever I try to do it for myself, it never really clicked. I was never able to get my first winning product and create a real good business. And unfortunately, what was working in 2019, what was even working 1 year ago, does not work anymore. Dropshipping changed by day, and your only option is to adapt and thrive to how the market moves. This is really important because there are a lot of people in the world that are making millions and millions of dollars every month by dropshipping. But they are not achieving those results by using the same dropshipping tactics that everyone else is using and looking on YouTube for information to get started. So, those people who are making millions of dollars are not competing with other people for the same product and for the same audience. But they are not considered with sky-high CPMs or even saturation of the markets. And they do not even need to test more than 5 or 10 products to find winners that get them to like 1K, 2K, or even like 10K, 20K per day. It doesn't matter. And the reason for that is simple. They have realized that the standard dropshipping model is becoming way more competitive. And so from what I've seen is that people are fed up with testing 15 products just to find one winner, which like at the same time will be copied in less than 2 months by an ocean of all dropshippers and sharks who want to sell the same product in the same market for the same price, also the same audience. And the reason for that is simple. When you run your dropshipping business like everyone else, you run it in the same market as everyone else. In this case, the most popular one is the US and other big 4 countries. And something as well is like you will see people who are like copy-pasting your store, and this will raise CPMs, leave you with fewer customers, and where you'll be left without any profits in your pocket. If you're someone who has already tried dropshipping, you probably know what that feels. It hurts. And so, whatever you do, you cannot find that one profitable product that you can scale to 1K or 2K per day. And yeah, that's the sad reality for 99% of the people that start dropshipping. You know, what happens is they find a few YouTube videos from people who do not even have great results, and they try to duplicate what they're seeing in these videos. They find products on AliExpress or the Facebook ads library, and they just test a few products, and then of course they fail. And here's why. They do not understand what the market wants. For example, I never tested in the US, and let me explain. There's thousands and thousands of dropshippers in the US that are trying to sell the same product as me and everyone else. So why in the world would I try and compete with them when there are different countries and different markets that can be used to sell the same products? So it's not only about working hard, it's also about working smart. I've learned that. But before I go into more detail on why I think this, let me introduce myself. My name is Vader, and a lot of people know me as Eco Legend on Twitter or Instagram. And if you're maybe new to me and my results, you are probably not new to the concept of dropshipping. So, let me give you some more details on how I operate my dropshipping business to 8 figures. Currently, I'm making around 500 euros a month in sales. We only sell products in the EU markets. So this can be Germany, Sweden, Norway, whatever. So basically, European markets. And that one small change I made almost 4 years ago from selling in the US to selling in the EU is what took me from my 9-to-5 sales job to now living in Dubai. Because 4 years ago, before I started this business, I had a sales job. I was working from a small desk at home at night, writing to make it work. Because while I had that sales job, it got to the point when I couldn't properly talk because I was just stuttering all the time. Sometimes I even have this issue, but now it's getting less and less. I was talking all day with people on the phone, and sometimes I couldn't even speak to them. But I decided I will make it work, because to be honest, there was no other option. Every single day I was finding the time to work on the business, to do product research, to learn Facebook ads. And now I've done over $12 million in sales. I'm living full-time in Dubai, living my dream life. And I'm able to spend time with my best friends, here with my family, take care of my family. Actually really easy to understand why I was able to escape the rat race and grow my business to such a huge point. So let me explain you why. You see, when you try to start a dropshipping store in the US and your product dies out after 5 days. This doesn't necessarily mean that you do not have a winning product. And this just means you cannot spend any money on ads to make profitable. And here's why. When you advertise your product in the US using platforms like Facebook or TikTok, you get away with way higher CPMs. The US market has way more people advertising in there, which means that those platforms have more people to choose from. But to even make it more simple for you, I'll explain the auction system with an example. Imagine you have 3 people who want to advertise the same product, same audience, and to the same country, even for the same price. And let's, for example, just name these people: Josh, Eric, Billy. And Josh, he decides to spend $10 on ads to make it profitable. Eric, he's deciding to spend $7 on ads. Well, Billy, he has spent more money on the other 2, so he decides that he can spend $13 on ads to profit. And now while Josh, Eric, and Billy are testing their products advertising, in the backend, Facebook's looks at all 3 of them and decides who will they give the best results and the best customers to. Because Billy, he has $30 to spend, Facebook will raise CPM cost to his level. So while Facebook is favoring Billy, who is giving them the most money, Josh and Eric will not have a chance to make it work because they just simply do not have enough margin to spend those $13 to make a profitable sale. This just basically means that even though they all had the same product, only Billy will be the one that will make thousands and thousands of dollars in profit. Now, I want you to imagine this. How would it look like if you had 100 people trying to sell the same product as you? What would happen when someone comes on the same product as you, but has just a little bit more money than you? Well, you would say goodbye to your winning product. As I said, not necessarily because you didn't find a winning product or didn't make a good landing page, but it's just because the Facebook auction system will not give you a chance. And this is the exact reason why dropshipping in the United States and in other big countries is getting harder and harder, especially if you're a beginner. So now that you understand how the Facebook auction system works, I want to introduce you to EU dropshipping. Because as I said, the reason that I was able to make 20k euros in a day, 26k euros in a day, 64k in a day, or even 400k in 1 week, it all comes down to changing the markets. And here's how we should look at it. When dropshipping in EU, the first thing, your product, obviously, you can use platforms like Adspano or Off the Lip and go and find all those winning products. I'm not going to go into that too much right now because I've already made a video with product research and it isn't even an issue in the EU markets because you can find a winning product 230% faster than selling in the EU. But secondly, the most important thing with dropshipping in EU is the supply chain. Here's what I mean by that. You can't just easily find products that are winners in the EU market because there's already products that are winners but just haven't yet been sold to EU. There's no competition and it's still saturated, which will give you lower CPMs, higher ROAS, and more profit at the end of the day, which is the most important. But to really take that to the next level, you need to focus on supply chain. And that is the number one thing that will get you 5k or 10k a day consistently. You really don't need to think about, is my product going to crash in 2 months or not? And to do that is simple. It comes down to having a good supplier, having a good communication with them. Because at the end of the day, there's so many people who are running their dropshipping and business just as little site and do not understand core principles of business in general. And they do not think about the quality of the product or about the customers. Those people, they only care about high ROAS. And if you want to have a real business that will bring you money in 3, 5, or 10 years or whatever, or in the future, you need to treat like a real business. And to do that is really simple. By starting out, you need to make sure you have a reliable supplier that will be taking care of all of your orders. So for example, you found your winning product and you are processing 10 to 20 orders per day with that product. What will happen when you start doubling your ad spend and start scaling? Will the process of sending those 20 products and sending 100 products per day look the same? Of course it won't. The more products you send, the more mistakes will happen, which will lead to more unsatisfied customers. And more unsatisfied customers will lead to a short-term business. Because if there's one thing I learned after making more than 8 figures online and after being 4 years in the e-com game, it's that you need to put your customers on first place all the time, even with dropshipping. Because there's one thing you need to understand. Dropshipping EU requires some additional tips and tricks. For example, you will need different payment processors, or for example, different landing pages. Because someone from Germany and someone from the US have something that I call different buyer activities. So let me explain. Someone from Germany doesn't react the same way to a post-purchase upsell, for example, the way that someone from the US would. Someone from Germany doesn't react the same way to a post-purchase upsell, for example, the way that someone from the US would, because that's different in every country. Do they feel safe using the options you're providing? And the list of all these small details goes on and on and on and on. And even though I would love to go into more detail here and give all the details in here, that will take you more than 2 or 3 hours to explain everything and provide the small details that are important. But even then, I couldn't give everything away. That's impossible. Because if I made this free trading hours long and gave everything away, it will be instantly copied by thousands of people, and eventually it will come to a point where the effectiveness of the information just will not work. There will be thousands and thousands of people who will try to copy paste everything without knowing how some of these things actually work in their core. Let them try. But if you want actual help, if you want the actual training and the actual good stuff that I can't put out on YouTube on how I went from a stuttering kid in the Netherlands to making millions of dollars on the internet and living in Dubai full time, then I'm inviting you to book a call below with me and my team. So let me get this straight. This will not be a sales call, like for example, a call with someone who will pre-assure you into buying anything or even telling you that you must join the Astro program. This is just a call with our team who will ask you some questions, see where you are with your business, and see if we can help you start your dropshipping business. If we think we can't help you, we will tell you that directly. But if we think we can really help you with your business, and we can get you to at least 100k a month in euros, we will give you our offer that has already produced a dozen of successful business owners. Have a look at the testimonials in our Discord. So guys, I would like to have you guys inside our community and help you with the private resources. If you think that is something that could help you reach your goals in business and in life, click below and hopefully I will see you inside.